Don't even go down there. Let me just find out. Hi people, can you share this stream so I can get back out? Yeah, my screen went blank, so I had to come back off. That was a bit mad, weren't it? Is he gone?
In that van, guys.
Yeah, he was wrong. I told him. Because you said I was right then. I was like, no, you were wrong.
Apparently he's alright.
Oh, is that? Oh, that's all right then.
Oh, good.
Just go and see him.
Where is he?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. If anyone could share the stream so you can get it back out there, thank you. Are they retreating? Derek's getting arrested. I know. Thank you.
It's alright.
Oh, oh, it is Derek, look. Oh my God.
Oh man.
Oh, they've got Derek. Sorry. Yeah, just seen it. He's normally dressed in the Union Jack suit. You ever see him? Yeah. It's the best. That's what the best way to describe him. Oh well. There's 3 more. Thanks for coming back, guys. Oh,
Steady, Eddie.
oh. It was because of his pig mask. Oh dear.
Well, you're not allowed to...
He had a pig mask on and he got arrested for it.
Right, so that's the arrestable offence now, is it?
Seems that way.
Okay. They didn't define what type of mask you could wear though, did they? So.
This guy's going in now as well, look.
See him.
got to move out the way. Got a bit tested there, didn't it?
I didn't see it. I've been over there.
Oh, really?
Anything
No, when they got the police down here. Did you miss that bit?
I got to when they arrested that woman and put her on the ground.
Yeah, and at the same time, someone chucked a branch at one of the police officers.
Oh, a branch.
A big, thick one as well. Not a twig, a branch.
What do you do with your footage?
Pardon?
What do you do? Do you put your footage up? Or?
On
So
YouTube.
you've got the police behind us.
Oh, right, okay. Right.
What's your channel?
It's XXTWXX.
TW.
Yeah,
XXTWXX.
XX, yeah. The TW's in capitals. You'll find me.
Some of these police officers just come off.
I know. Everyone's been saying that.
They're really cute. They're tiny
Yeah, I
little
know. You don't know how they manage it when they're so tiny. Yeah, can do, yeah.
things. And they're togged up in their right gear. They look really quite funny.
Yeah. Let's just zoom out a minute.
Yeah.
My feet at that cold have gone numb. There's still quite a lot of people on the park though. And there's a load coming down again, so I don't know whether they're all coming back down or not. Yep.
To which area are you referring?
Oh, poor Derek.
Oh, it's a
I
shame.
hope he ain't in overnight or anything.
Well, it's complied with mass regulation.
Happy New Year, Sharon. Did you see the horse earlier though? That was about a flipping, that was.
I know. He did literally.
Yeah.
Unless,
I think something went wrong there.
yeah, I think so. I'm glad I put the heating on at home.
Huh?
I'm glad I put the heating on at
Yeah.
home. when I get back. I don't know.
Oh, someone's been arrested. I knew she would. She was. Be asking. Oh look, undercover van. Yeah. I know, that's what I was thinking. He's going to shut the door. They've got another task to do.
You know what love is? Empathy, passion, kindness. Makes me like a man. Makes me like a man, yeah. Why you got no kindness in you, brother? What up kindness, man? What's that? What's that, yeah? What's it do? There's 65 million people of us, yeah? And there's a few of them. The bricklayers, the engineers, the gas engineers, the electric, I'm an engineer. We built all this shit for them. We built this shit for them for what? For them to use it on us. We built all this stuff for them. The guns, engineers, helicopters, Apaches, gunships, the bombs. We built all that here to protect us, but they will use to use us.
We've got another guy over there as well.
Yeah, I know, that's one of them out that van.
Yeah, man.
They brought him out the van and put him in this one.
Parliament, yeah? You talk about bricklayers. Bricklayers come out of us, man. We built the bricks. We laid the bricks, man, for them. We built the house for them, yeah? For them to enjoy that, yeah? To give happiness. Stevens, man. project happiness in their life. To help people, yeah? They got everything, all the new cars, go and look at the vans. All the ladies guys, all the ladies cars, they got all the ladies guns, the ladies everything gone, boom, boom, boom. When an old lady, yeah, couldn't go to the hospital, yeah, to get cancer treated, yeah? Exactly. Yeah? Because she got nothing. They got all the ladies guns.
Hey, God bless the UK. I just waved to you just in case. He said he could see me on his thing. Yeah. This is it. Is it? I'm so sorry about that. I don't know why. I've had problems with the signal all day as well. Yeah, no, we did. Yeah, he was all right.
Yeah. So we showed his press cards.
Yeah, he was all right. Yeah.
So the EPA press cards.
We're allowed to go work though. We're allowed to earn them more money.
Stand up. It's called rear. Rear the Hyde. Rear the Hyde means, yeah, the spinal cord. We respect that power because all your power comes from that, your spinal cord, man.
Yeah, Sharon, I thought that as well earlier.
Excuse me, this is a mask, please, sir. If you've got a mask, please evacuate.
What happened earlier? Everyone kept saying you were being arrested.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I was being nicked. They grabbed me, told me to move, and I told them no, I'm working.
Yes.
Then they grabbed me.
I'll get you on.
Then they were like, I was saying, I got my press pass. And I'm thinking, that's not going to fucking work, is it? So I gave it to her, and then they let me go.
So the EPA works?
Yeah, it works.
It's a
Sometimes
registered.
it's a hit and miss, I think.
No, because they looked at mine today and they let me go as well, yeah.
It is working, but I do get the ones that saying the EPA press card is not valid.
Yeah, but no, but
One of the gatekeepers.
No, well, I put a complaint in to the Met Police about it because we were at the Remembrance Day, yeah. So I got an apology back saying sorry that yes, there is more than one press association, not just the NUJ. So now they appreciate that we are in the EPA, and they're going to send them off for training and things like that to understand that it's not just the NUJ that are.
He was quoting the NUJ.
I know, but it's not just them, is it?
The blue press pass is at the NUJ. I said anyone can apply for one.
Thank you,
just
Timothy.
got to have published work and prove that you've got published work.
Yeah, there's one just here, look.
Yeah, I've got published work. But they won't give me an NUJ.
I'll get coffee in a minute then, thank you.
It's political. They won't give me. I've applied for one and they've ignored my application.
What's that? You've applied for? Oh, for an NUJ you can't get one. You've got to be.
They've ignored my application because you've got to register on their site, and then they send you all the login details. But they just completely
I know a few people that have tried to get it and they can't get it as well.
Make sure you spread the message like one keeping next week.
Yeah.
Bigger one, 10 times bigger than this.
What's this, sorry?
One keeping next week is 10 times bigger than this one.
Oh, okay.
Right here.
Right, okay.
It's 10 times bigger than this one. Alright, the 9th.
The 9th.
Check your internet. Alright.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for that.
I know, but I didn't realise that you was into it. I'm not into it. I just come to the support and see what's going on. I'm not into it. To be honest with you, I'm fed up with the lockdown. I'm fed up. I don't know, the lockdown just beating me left, it's beating me right, it's beating me. I just don't want to be in the lockdown.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. And a cake. Oh, that would be lovely.
Oh, a cake?
Coffee and a cake.
Coffee and cake.
and the coffee's out on the sheet.
Oh, that's nice. Where's ours?
I'll tell you what, this hand warm is a godsend.
It is, isn't it? I think it's
I stream everything, so my YouTube page.
like all the police are gone, look. It's only them lot down there.
Yeah.
And they're going as well. That's it, the police gave up, we can do it again now. Yeah. I know, they're patrolling round, didn't they? They've got quite a few in there though. I think that's it, calm down now, everyone's going. Oh, no problem. God bless you, the UK. I said I'd nab you. Yeah, they've arrested Derek for wearing a pig mask. They just done the rounds and then they're going now, I think.
Got a bit testy earlier though, didn't it?
It bloody well did. I can't believe I was stuck in the middle of it. He picked that thing up right in front of him and then he'll come off. Oh my God. Let's go and, should we go and stand there? See if there's anything up there. I might have to put my chargers in a minute.
You've done very well actually. Thanks.
No. It says on it. Can't have a look. Yes. Sorry guys, just put my charger in. We're just going to nip down the bottom and see if anything's happening at the main entrance. Well, at the entrance. Sit this up. Sorted. Nothing's happening out here. I think everyone's gone.
Yeah, I think that's about it. There's David Kirby.
Oh yeah. I might ask him because I needed to speak to him, didn't I? 'Cause I messaged him yesterday. Yeah, we'll have to put free Derek out there everywhere. Keep losing signal.
Hello.
Hello again.
How are you?
Hello. Sorry to bother you yesterday. I just thought there was New Year. Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Mine's warm.
Oh, that's great, isn't
This,
it?
it keeps
I
me
wish
nice
I
and warm.
had warm hands like that. That's amazing. That's like technology.
It's this is brilliant. Honestly, it's been godsend today.
Great.
So, how you getting on?
I'm all right.
You all right?
It's been like a nice, quiet couple of weeks. So I really haven't done too much. This is actually the first time I've spoken to people.
Oh,
real
is it?
people,
Oh.
in a couple of weeks.
Did
It's
you,
been really nice, actually.
Did you have a nice Christmas and New Year?
Yeah, it's alright. It's
Yeah.
quite quiet. Like, I speak to a lot of people on the phone and stuff. but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been okay.
That's six, you're not allowed to go around and see anyone, aren't we? So it's a bit nightmarish. What was your thoughts on what happened with Sadiq with the firework display?
That, I mean, it's awful, isn't it? I mean, this is a Marxist fist in the sky with drones. I mean, really, what? It's almost incomprehensible.
Yeah.
It should happen in London. This is a symbol of.
I think it's caused an uproar because it got political and it was New Year, so it shouldn't have been political.
It should be about celebrating the turn of the year and looking forward, not putting up some symbol of a Marxist organisation. You know what Black Lives Matter stands for? Defunding the police. So how can the mayor, who's in charge of the police in London, put up a symbol on New Year's Eve of an organisation that wants to defund the police? I mean, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I mean, he's kind of saying that he wants to abolish, something that he's in charge of, if you think about it. And they also want to disrupt the natural nuclear family, and they want to smash capitalism. It's ridiculous, this organisation. It gets too much credibility from people like Sadiq Khan and, other people in Parliament as well, of all sides.
Yeah.
So we've really got to stand up to this and call it out for what it is.
Definitely, yeah. I know it's caused a big uproar on Twitter and that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I had a few rants there yesterday.
Saying, oh, it was quite good, wasn't it? Well, no.
I couldn't believe where he says.
Can I ask, what would you have done with the 1.5 million Sadiq Khan wasted on the light show and fireworks?
Well, I think I'd have a much better fireworks display. I mean, people want fireworks. I know it's a lot of money, but this is something you can do to celebrate New Year's Eve. But I mean, obviously, I would say we should have people out because this COVID thing is not, a deadly disease that's killing everybody. All the numbers are inflated and twisted, and so people should be allowed out to celebrate on New Year's Eve. And we would have had a proper fireworks display that would celebrate London and Britain and the United Kingdom and Brexit.
With the current regulations, and I thought the display and the show was pretty pitiful compared to other years. The fireworks display was disgusting. I can't see how that cost 1.5 million. It would be good to know who owns the company who supplied all the lights.
We can look into that. I don't know.
Is it one of Sadiq Khan's family members, or is it someone connected to him?
It could be. I don't know the answer to that at the moment, but I know there was a story about cronyism in some of the contracts he's given out to tender without doing a competitive tendering process. So that's certainly something to look into.
And he didn't even do it in the centre of London, it was Greenwich.
You're right, exactly. So people wouldn't go and see it. So that was the thing. But, it was all a bit. It was rubbish, but then the bits of it that got people talking with this BLM sort of fist, so
political, very political.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need this.
There's a lot of footage at the minute with all the hospitals being quite empty. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of them. I mean, there was the one in Gloucester that everyone knows about where the woman got arrested afterwards. Right, exactly. People, I know her. So, I mean,
and
she obviously went around and saw that. And, I mean, why would you arrest someone for just taking photos of an empty hospital ward? It doesn't make any sense. And this is overreach in the extreme from the authorities, the police, putting into practice, what someone has told them to do. I think the people higher up the chain are sort of telling them to do this, but also the people who are doing this, there's no excuse for them that they're just following orders for going around and arresting an innocent woman.
Well, I was at the hospital the other day, and it was
for taking some pictures.
I was at the hospital the other day and I noticed everywhere was quiet there, so I started filming. And then when I realised she'd been arrested, I had to take it off because I'd put it on Twitter. I thought I'd take it off because I didn't make any commentary or anything, but I thought I'm not risking it because it's just not fair.
This is the psychology that they do, don't they? They arrest someone and then we all self-censor.
This is it.
Even though this is very important information to get out.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know about every single hospital, but, you know, because they do tend to get busy this time of year because it's winter. More people have flu. And surprisingly, flu is the lowest ever cases of flu in history. Well, maybe not in history, but for a very, very long time. And it's all been replaced by COVID, you know. So people are twisting and manipulating numbers. Yeah, there are some hospitals that are full, but you get that normally in winter, but there are some hospitals that are much emptier than usual if you look at the figures. So, you know, there's nothing, I think, that's, you know, if you look at it in the round, there's nothing extreme going on here. We're not in the middle of a deadly pandemic like the Black Death, which is what they seem to be trying to ramp up and make everybody afraid of.
And these Nightingale hospitals, is it true they're all being dismantled or are they dormant? What's happening with those?
As far as I know, you know, some of them have been dismantled. As far as I know, the one in London doesn't seem that there's any equipment in there, and you hear different things from different people about it, but they're certainly not being used. You know,
I heard rumours it was about £6 million spent on the Nightingale hospitals or something, so is it more than that then?
It was a lot
more.
than that.
So that's a bit of wasted money.
100 million as far as something like that. I think it's a couple of orders.
250. Was it?
Yeah, it's a huge waste of money. But you know, I mean, that's nothing compared to the whole amount of money that they've wasted on this. I mean, they've spent, what is it, 300 to 400 billion on the whole COVID thing, whether it's the Nightingale hospitals, the testing, the track and trace, and all of the other things, and all the sort of furlough schemes that saying to people, you can't work, but we're going to pay 80% of your wages. And I think most people just want to get on and work because they want their businesses to carry on.
This is it, yeah.
You know, so they're basically paying people not to work, which is, there's no reason for this, and you know, this has been shown to be so. But they're just continuing with this destructive policy in many areas. So, you know, they're wasting, I don't know, I heard some estimate of about £1 billion a day on this, you know, which is going to bankrupt the country if it goes on for a couple of years.
And there's rumours that it's going to go into tier 5.
I've heard this, and you know, when something gets leaked or something gets announced, it usually happens a week or 2 or 3 later. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do something else, and I don't know what that would be. If it's just, you know, they've already announced that in some areas schools aren't going to go back, so I mean that might be the extra restriction that they're doing. They might do more. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Piers Corbyn running for mayor?
Yeah, I heard that last night. I mean, the thing is, I mean, on a lot of things I would agree with him on. You know, we would certainly agree that these restrictions are wrong. You know, I think in the London elections, you get 2 choices. You get a first vote and a second vote in the London elections. So, you know, someone could vote for me, number 1, Piers Corbyn for number 2, and then they could vote for both of us if they wanted to. You know, so the system in London means that it's not really important.
Okay, lovely. Thank you very much.
So do you think that all Metropolitan Police officers should be issued a copy of 1984? Or are you concerned that they use it as an instruction manual?
I certainly think they should have it, and they should learn from it. You know, there's so much we should learn from history. These books are written to warn us by people who are visionaries about what could happen in the future if we don't stand up to tyranny. But we've got this coming in now, and it's amazing that you've got a lot of police officers who are just seeming to be enforcing this tyranny. Sorry. I don't know, it's heckler or something. Anyway, yeah, and so yeah, it's very, very worrying. Very, very worrying what's going on, and you know, they need to respect our human rights and fundamental freedoms.
Can I ask, will you be down there in 2 days? It's on the 5th of January in the Old Bailey for Julian Assange.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that. That's an interesting question,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Julian Assange should not be in jail. I mean, he's a whistleblower. He's done nothing wrong. All he's done is speak the truth. He hasn't even told a lie about anything, and he's in prison because you know, some people don't like
the truth coming out. But you know what he's done is very valuable service to humanity. He's a political prisoner. He shouldn't be there, and he's been treated appallingly by the powers that be, keeping him locked up on trumped-up charges and false pretenses. So I'll certainly be there on Monday with many other people who are lovers of freedom and truth to call for him to be released.
And what do you think about mass surveillance in general?
Well, it's terrible. There shouldn't be mass surveillance. Why do we need mass surveillance? I mean, just because the technology to do something exists doesn't mean that we should use it. You know, we got the technology to do all kinds of things which are good and which are also destructive. But you know, people should be free to live lives that are anonymous and to have a private life. And yes, in a public space, in a town centre, you know, you do need things perhaps to check if there's crime going on. You don't want people committing robbery and theft and pickpocketing and things like that. But I mean, generally surveilling people to see, you know, what they say, who they talk to, who their friends are, what they write on the internet, what they're writing in text messages to people. I mean, that shouldn't be done at all. And what really worries me is something that happened a couple of months ago in Parliament. There was a new bill introduced. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's given...
Covert human intelligence sources.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's giving state operatives basically immunity from prosecution. They're allowed to break the law with impunity, and there'll be no comeback. So that's very worrying and very true. It's tyrannical, basically. You know, people who are working for the state should respect and obey the law. I mean, you shouldn't be allowed to go and do things that are illegal that might harm people, and then not have any kind of comeback for it just because you were working for the state.
Boris Johnson!
So obviously your party is the Heritage Party. Where can people go to find out more information about it?
Yes, so you can look on heritageparty.org, and our manifesto's there. You can
Hang Boris Johnson!
And you can
hang Wuhan Cop!
You can look at our manifesto there, and you can join up and you can sign up there. So heritageparty.org.
And there's going to be activism soon, I think, and they can email in to say that they're activists.
Yeah, so you can sign up as a volunteer as well. Obviously, we'd love people to sign up as members. So if you do, then you can join a branch and you can stand as a candidate. But you can also, sign up as a volunteer. We will have some action days soon where we can give out some leaflets and so on. And, especially in London, someone's standing to be the mayor, so that we can get rid of Sadiq Khan, and we would like to do that. So if you want to help and get involved in fighting for the mayoralty to return to sanity, please join us.
Right, yeah. Thank you.
Thanks a million.
Brilliant.
No other questions? This gentleman over here, he got grabbed down on one of the last protests. Literally, he was walking away. He got grabbed, and then I got grabbed.
Really expensive.
You know what I mean? By the people you don't want to be grabbed by.
TSG.
Oh dear.
What do you think about the TSG? Would you disband them as are they under the Metropolitan Police?
They are, as far as I know, they're under the Metropolitan Police. I mean, if there are real riots, you do need something to actually be able to control and disperse riots. And you do have real things going on that are a danger to normal people. But I mean, you shouldn't be using the riot police to disperse a peaceful crowd. This is not a riot. And I've seen them out in all the freedom rallies where people are just, they are advocating, marching, rallying, protesting for the return of our civil liberties. It's not a riot. So you don't need the riot police to go in and, behave with utter brutality against ordinary citizens. That's absolutely wrong. You do need, you do need some police that can deal with extreme violence if that happens. You do need police, obviously, to deal with terrorism and so on. But you don't need police, and they certainly should not be treating innocent civilians and peaceful civilians as if they're criminals.
Yeah.
So, do you think there should be extra checks, or maybe some sort of need to sort of confirm that what the mayor's action in sending in the TSG? Do you think there should be some sort of oversight by the Assembly, so that the mayor doesn't just have carte blanche over the TSG?
Yeah,
his own
right.
Private army.
Well, I've asked the mayor in the Assembly about these kind of things a couple of times, and he's usually just said, well, I don't really know the answer, you should ask Cressida Dick, or I'll find out to you, or why don't you write to me and I'll write back to you, or something. He doesn't seem to have any clue about, you know, what's been going on the streets of London in terms of these rallies and demonstrations. But yeah, there needs to be some very strong scrutiny of the TSG and you know, the Metropolitan Police, if they're going to be using force in a manner which is, you know, which can be necessary at some times, obviously to arrest real criminals. But when that, you know, permission to use force is misused and abused, then it needs to be stopped. And well, it shouldn't happen in the first place. So we really need a whole look into this and to make sure that they stop doing this kind of thing that's been happening today and on many of the other freedom rallies over the last 6 months. And that kind of use of extreme force is just reserved for arresting real criminals like murderers and terrorists and rapists and grooming gangs and pedophiles.
He seems to be a mayor that doesn't know what's going on in his own city, I think, the way you know, when we watch these question times and that.
Yeah.
But is he aware of like the knife crime that's going on in the city as well? You know, like we go into the 2021, in one night there was 3 stabbings. So is he aware of that? You know, even.
Well, he does seem to come out with some platitudes when something goes on. You know, this is a terrible thing, but it goes on, and nothing seems to change.
Yeah.
You know, and this is, I think, because the police have been focused first of all on policing, you know, political correctness. You know, they're looking at people's tweets on the internet to see, oh, if you say something that's politically incorrect, we're going to drag you through the courts. We're going to, you know, policing speech.
Yeah.
And now they're policing peaceful protesters who are demonstrating for civil liberties. So the whole focus of what the police has been doing has been wrong. You know, you've got the whole diversity, equality and inclusion agenda, where I would say, you know, it's very simple. As I said before, the police are there to catch criminals, to arrest criminals. Murderers, thieves, you know, rapists, arsonists, burglars. You've got to catch those people. But don't be, you know, politicising it and, you know, using the police to be nice to Black Lives Matter, you know, send out nice liaison officers to make sure that they're all having a nice time, but then you've got, you know, freedom rally people being treated with a truncheon over their head.
Yeah, you can see the difference. What was that one?
He wants to ask about the voting.
What do you think
Oh,
of
yeah.
pushing so much police out to these protesters?
Well, I mean, you've got all the old parties, you know, whether it's Conservative, what I call the fake Conservatives, Labour, Lib Dem, Greens, they're all, you know, of one accord on this. I mean, I look at them and I just think, you know, they're basically one big party with like 4 different colours. You've got the pretense that there's 4 different parties there, but they're all pretty much the same, and they're all like completely on the globalist agenda, you know. So they, Agenda 31, Agenda 2030, Agenda 21. You've got the smart cities agenda. You've also got the strong cities network. So London's in both smart cities network, C40 cities, and the strong cities network. And the strong cities network is a network of cities globally, which sort of pushes the globalist agenda around democracy. So it works around, you know, flanks the democratic system and can impose something without people realising. So that you've got, it's ostensibly to fight terrorism, but they're looking at these kind of things and saying, well, this is basically far right. You know, all the far right is here, so there's a danger that this is terrorist, and we've got to clamp down on it and stop it. Whereas, you know, you've got the Black Lives Matter, and they're like, well, this is wonderful because this is about equality and diversity. So that we'll let that go because that's good. But this, oh, that's possibly far right. terrorist. We need to clamp down on it. And that's sort of coming through the Strong Cities Network. And there's a lot more you can read about it. And, you know, the agenda's there. You know, you've got the whole state of Victoria in Australia. The whole state is in the Strong Cities Network. I think it's the only place that's bigger than a city. You've also got Birmingham and Manchester, Luton and Leicester in this country that are in the Strong Cities Network. And you see sometimes the police in those cities acting in you know, in a similar way. I must say though, when I went to Birmingham on the 5th of December, they were very nice.
Yeah, we were there then. Yeah.
We were there. It was a lovely, peaceful rally.
They were even taking leaflets from people doing the demonstrations in the cars. So yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
What do you think? What's your thoughts on the voting machines?
Yeah, well, there shouldn't be voting machines in this country or anywhere. They should be counted by hand.
Yeah.
You know, I did ask the question of Sadiq Khan in December, written question, and he hasn't answered it yet. So, you know, I said, what are you going to do? What's the GLA going to do to remove these e-counting machines, given the allegations of election fraud in the USA?
I was just going to say that, yeah.
So I've asked the question now. You know, I tweeted about it yesterday, and I think a lot of people, that's raised awareness. A lot of people are asking the question now because you've got the contract in London. I think it's given to Smartmatic and another company. So that is very worrying, considering what's happened in the USA. So it's something that we're looking into.
What about the postal votes? Is that likely to carry on, or do you think that should be quashed because so many people double vote?
Yeah, well, my view is that postal voting should be only for people who have a serious disability or veterans, or you know, people who are doing military service,
overseas,
and you know, overseas, and they can't vote. You know, where they're registered to vote. It shouldn't be for everybody. So you know, we need to go back to how it was before, whereas only a few people can have a postal vote for a very, very good reason, and that's it. So. The system we've got now, you know, it's ripe for fraud. And, you know, even the Electoral Commission says there's 16 areas of the UK, mostly in England, where they have serious concerns of voting fraud taking place, including Tower Hamlets, Peterborough, some places up north as well.
Can I ask, when you're mayor, obviously there's a lot of homelessness with veterans, and there's a lot of difficulty with veterans in this country. Especially in London, it's quite tough. What are you going to do to support veterans in the capital? Well,
there's a lot of really good charities that support veterans here. So Hope for Heroes and so on. I've spoken to some of them, and you know, in the past, and I certainly think we would do everything we can to work with them and support them, because they're experts in, you know, looking after the specific needs of homeless veterans, and they do a lot of the charities that do support homeless veterans. Do amazing work, and they do. I think over the last few years that they have, you know, increased their capacity. But that's certainly something, you know, I'd support. You know, the housing budget of being London there.
Nice, yeah, beautiful.
Lovely.
Yes.
There is talk that these lockdowns will continue throughout March.
Well, I would say that's a certainty. You know, that's what they want to do. I mean, I'm opposed to it. But you see what they brought in last March, 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and then it went on for 3 weeks, and it went for 6 weeks, and it was 3 months. Then it was a little break in the summer. Oh, then it's lockdown again, and then it's, oh, we're breaking, and then it's another lockdown. They're like, you know, playing catch string with us. They're psychologically abusing us as people. Yeah, gaslighting all the time.
That's the key.
Exactly.
That we have scientific evidence. There isn't any scientific evidence.
I know.
Produce the scientific evidence. We're not able to get away with it.
You're absolutely right.
Well, the journalists are asking the right questions, apart from maybe talk radio.
Well, the mainstream media journalists are all part of the system, and they're not asking the searching questions, which they might have done in the past.
If you just go and look at the statistics, you'll see there's something not quite right. No, they're relying on us not to look.
Well, it's obvious, you know, to you and I, and to millions of people, we look outside the mainstream, so we've all got to turn off the mainstream media. We've all got to turn off the BBC, ITV, Sky, Channel 4, because they don't talk about the inaccuracies of PCR testing at all. And they're not talking about
PCR carrying bullets. He actually said it should not be used.
Exactly.
And then they killed him. And then they killed him. He was 19. He immediately died.
Well, certainly he said it shouldn't be used.
And one of his final interviews, he was very critical of Tony Finching. Very, very critical. Basically said he should not be in a position where he's in.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely
And
right.
this is
So,
what we're relying on.
so we've got to keep the
to
message
lock down
going.
people on these PCR tests.
You're right. We've got to keep the message going out that the PCR tests are inaccurate. They're grossly inaccurate, especially when they use a high number of thermal cycles.
Kids are not going back to school
He said
on
they
Monday.
should only be used as 25 thermal cycles.
And we're
at the
using like
most.
35.
Yeah, and so it's obviously very, very inaccurate, but they're still using it. So, if you're watching this, don't believe the PCR testing figures. You've said, many people have said, Mike Eden and other people who are experts, scientific experts, and they've said many, many times that they're completely inaccurate.
It's on the British Medical Journal as well. Yes,
Right, yeah.
BMJ.
Yeah.
But it's not getting out there in the media. BBC, Sky,
Well, of
not
course,
running with these stories.
I mean, don't hold any hope out that they're going to put it out.
What will you do if you become mayor?
Well, they're not going to put it out. Well, I mean, I've already
What will
said.
you be able to do?
Well,
When?
Okay, well, what I said is, thank you very much. I mean, the mayor's in charge of transport, the mayor's in charge of police and crime. So what I would say is that with the police, if I'm the police and crime commissioner, I'll make sure the police are not enforcing rules which are taking away our freedoms, rules which are legally repugnant, which are against our fundamental human rights and freedoms, which is what's happening. We'll stop that, and we'll make sure the police are focused on catching criminals and not taking away our citizens. Right, I haven't spoken to the Police Federation myself, but that's something I can look into, yeah. Okay, it's worth a try, yeah.
What would you be doing regarding imposing the vaccination, making it mandatory? I presume that you'd be pushing back on that when Londoners being discriminated against for going into restaurants or going to gyms or getting on a flight because they refuse to have the vaccination. Where do you stand with that?
Well, yeah, vaccination should not be mandatory in any way whatsoever. If they want to have a vaccine, they can have a vaccine. But no one should be restricted from doing anything or treated any differently for any service or any entry into any place because they don't have a vaccine. That goes without saying. I mean, there should not be this medical coercion which people are talking about. I mean, you do have they put in now a vaccine minister, isn't it? This is his name, Zahawi. What's his first name? Yeah, that's the one. British Iraqi. Anyway, he said that there won't be any coercion. But, yeah, well, I don't know. That's what he said. I hope that's true. But we've got to make sure that it is true. Obviously, if I'm the mayor of London, I'll be saying that, things should be opening up and nobody should be disadvantaged if they don't have a vaccine. It's very simple.
Are you concerned that there's no criminal liability whatsoever for the companies that make the vaccine if there are side effects?
Yeah, well, this has been something that's been the case for many, many years, and it's a system they put in place, I don't know how many years ago, but I think a couple of decades ago. It was absolutely wrong. The manufacturers should have liability if there are side effects. It's, the same kind of liability that they would have, for people who make normal medicines.
Yeah, or a car,
yeah, right, exactly. Yes, yeah, you're right. So, for example, thalidomide, the company that made thalidomide, I don't know which one it was, back in the 50s, and they had to pay, damages to people, because of the side effects. So that should be the same with vaccines.
But they're not, aren't they? That's clear. The government made it very clear that the companies do not have any liability at all. And people are still happy to take the vaccine?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't take a vaccine. I'm not taking a vaccine where the companies don't have any liability. So, I wouldn't recommend that anybody else does as well.
When you talk about the lack of media coverage, what's your opinion on defunding the BBC?
Yeah, I'm definitely for defunding the BBC. I mean, it's an anachronism. I mean, back in, 100 years ago or 50 years ago, when it was the only television station, I mean, that was the model used to fund it. But now you've got 1,000 television stations. I mean, the BBC shouldn't be getting any money from a TV license. I mean, it's a system that's completely out of date. We need to end it, and it needs to like fend for itself in free market.
Yeah, because there's plenty.
Can I play devil's advocate? But what about Strictly Come Dancing?
Oh.
Well, someone wants to make a program called Strictly Come Dancing and sell it onto a TV channel, and I'm sure they'll be very successful because a lot of people want to watch it. You don't need the BBC for that.
No.
Another commercial enterprise can do that.
Wish they would.
The BBC license, people don't have to pay for it.
No, that's
They
true.
just don't pay, and that's it, and they don't let them in when they come, and there's nothing, they might come randomly, and that's it.
And because they've lost a lot of following, they're now making the pensioners pay more, aren't they? So yeah, which I think is right. Yeah.
For vendetta.
Good question. I don't know if I can answer that. The Heritage Party.
What they stand for, main principles.
Yeah, well, defending our culture and heritage, standing up for free speech and liberty, traditional family values, low immigration, financial responsibility of government, self-sufficiency and skills. I think that goes along with low immigration, so that we train up our own young people to be the doctors and nurses that we need, rather than taking people from other countries and depriving them of the nurses and doctors they've trained up, and so on. So those are some of the principles. You can look at our manifesto at heritageparty.org. Have a look. Yeah.
So you become a member of your party?
You can become a member. It's £25 a year to become a member, and then if you're a member, you can join a branch and stand as a candidate. Go through the training.
Have you got councillors?
Well, we're very new. We only got approval by the Electoral Commission. Yeah, please do. Join us in Haringey. We need someone in Haringey. Yeah.
So will you be planning to get an MP?
Well, I mean, the first thing is the London elections in May. Obviously, so I'm going to be standing for the London election and mayor and assembly. So we'll have a team standing for the assembly because we go for the list as well. Then we'll be putting councillor candidates up for the council elections around the country in places like Kent, Essex, and Staffordshire and places like that around England too.
And in London,
well, not this year because the boroughs don't have elections until 2022. But then when that comes, we'll be putting up candidates in the boroughs as well. But yes, certainly when the general election comes around, we want to grow enough to be able to put candidates in every seat, in the general election. So hopefully then we'll get some MPs, and we can change things. And we got to change the system.
Look over there! Look! Coming again. Sorry.
Right.
About common law, where do you stand?
Sorry.
Yeah, just one.
Guys, do you think they're possibly coming to arrest us?
Oh, probably.
I hope not.
I hope not. They're all.
Oh my God, 29 coming. I think
Oh my God. Just having an interview.
They're not going to arrest.
They can't be, can they? What's going on? Oh. Let's go back here. Oh yeah. Sorry. That cut the interviews off. Look, they're all going up there as well. They're going here and then they're going over there, guys, look. Sorry about cutting that interview off, but it's going really well as well. Something's going on. It's crazy, isn't it? My feet are killing.
Questions, Trace?
Oh, I enjoyed that. It's nice. I like having an interview with him. He's really nice, isn't he? Yeah. He whispered he's going to call me back.
Yeah, I opened up some questions for the group as well. So. answer all the questions coming from Simon.
Oh yeah, that was good, yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Hello everyone, just when you think it's over. It is, isn't it? Got the horses at the back of this as well. Oh my god, 2 new ones, quick. They have to walk so fast.
I know.
It's like chasing after active, isn't it?
I know. So we're chasing after both.
No. What is going on?
Hawks. It's called Hawks.
What's going on? Hang on. Is that it? Just come in for these. What is going on? Just asking people to disperse from the part they're just sitting, not doing anything, just talking. They're just asking people to sit and talk instead of asking them to move. But I mean, come on. There's only 1 or 2 people sitting together and they're probably in a bubble. All that just for them.
This is just ridiculous.
Just going to pick people up that are just stood around. Yeah, maybe. I want a pair of roller skates.
What are you doing? You're whizzing about and everything.
I know, yeah.
We'd see you for a dust, wouldn't we?
Feet would be warm, wouldn't they?
Couple of A-section, get it together.
Well, what was the point in that?
I don't know. The A-section needs to work over there. So.
Freezing. Honestly, I don't really get the point of that. They all marched off like something was going on. For an energy.
Hello, are you planning on leaving anytime soon?
I am, yeah, I'm working at the moment, so I'm just filming.
Lovely. Are you together, yeah?
Yeah,
Have you
together,
got your
yeah.
ID as well?
We're together.
But have you got ID to say your press? Because obviously she does.
Well, she's my partner, so
You live in the same household,
We
yeah?
do, yeah, yeah.
Can you prove that you live in the same household for us, please?
I've not brought anything with me at the moment, no. No.
Then I would suggest that you separate, otherwise one of you probably will get, or both of you will be getting tickets.
Right, okay. What, even though I'm working?
I understand that you're working,
Yeah.
but if we can't prove that you live in the same household.
Yeah, well, he moved in with me when COVID started, so...
I'm sure he did,
Yeah.
but we have to see proof, otherwise we have to issue tickets. So I'd suggest that you are separate, otherwise someone will issue a ticket.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's a bit wrong, isn't it? It is wrong. Well, they tell you to move, they tell you to stay together if you're in a relationship because you don't want you to be on your own while you've got COVID, then you've got to prove that you are. We're not actually living together, it's only because of COVID that we are. So that's wrong doing that. Maybe that's something that we can pick up on, yeah. That is wrong, that is. Even the government said to us at the beginning, when COVID started, move in with each other while COVID's going on. I'm sorry, but that's wrong. Yeah, it is, it's curfew. And when it's going on like flipping, oh, this is just getting worse, isn't it? It is getting worse. Absolute joke, isn't it?
Just have the laugh.
Oh my god.
Papers, please.
Yeah, but we shouldn't have to prove that we live together. They told us to do that when COVID started, so that we could be. If you're in a relationship, you live on. I can't do that. If you live on your own, and you to be together, just move in temporarily. But I ain't got no proof on that. So how are we supposed to prove it?
Well, we don't.
Well, that's something that's. Well, do you know what? That's going to be another complaint to Met Police then.
Yes, absolutely right.
Well, I'm not having this anymore. It's about persecution. Yeah, it's that persecution, isn't it?
Hi, Graham, you right? Not too bad, thank you, not too bad. Yeah. Tracy's streaming at the moment. We've just been told by the police that effectively Tracy was all right with her EPA card. Obviously, I haven't got one. And we said, well, obviously we live together, so I'm with her. So what's the problem? And they said, well, can you prove that? It's like, seriously? Yeah.
So when the government says to you at the beginning of the COVID starting, if you're single, you live on your own and you're with a partner, move in together, now we've got to prove that we are. I don't think so. Even if it's like temporarily. Do you know what I mean?
So
it's just one more. They just make the rules up as they go along. I'm sure they do. Yeah, no, I'm going to look into that a bit further because that's wrong. That is wrong.
So that's another complaint, I think, going forward, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just leaving the park now.
Oh, it's so shouty.
Pardon?
All right, guys.
All right, mate.
Oh, no, I think I'll see you for a bit.
All right. Speak to that boy.
Sorry about that.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm going to make a complaint about that because, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, when COVID first started, they said, if you're single, well, if you're seeing someone and you don't want to be apart, then temporarily move in together or to do it temporary. Well, me and Dave are doing it temporary, so why have I got any paperwork to prove that? Do you know what I mean? So they're just making up as they're going along. Alright.
See you at the next one, folks.
Yeah, and you, take care.
Yeah, see you later.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely, it is. I just think they're making the rules up as they go along just to suit them. I think. I'm sorry, but that's wrong what she's just said. That is wrong. I'm going to I am taking that further because I'm not having it.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it live for a bit, just in case anything else happens as we walk by the Gestapo.
Yeah, we'll just head down to the park.
Right, excuse me, officer, can I just ask you a quick question?
No.
Why?
Alright,
That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong if you can't ask a question to a police officer nowadays.
Don't ask questions.
I just wanted to ask you a question about something. Yes, I know. I'm asking a question about what I was asking in there. There's nothing bad about it.
Yeah, go on.
Right. So you know, at the beginning of COVID,
yeah.
the government stated that if you're seeing someone and you want to live together because of COVID, so you can be together.
Tell you what I'll do.
If you're doing that,
Tell you what I'll do. There you go.
What's
I'll give
that?
you all the details. That's about the T4 legislation.
yeah, but I know, but I'm on about people living together and having to have proof.
You want the question, but you want a bit of a debate and that.
No, I'm not debating at all. Oh my God, they won't answer a question. They're okay to dictate, but they're not allowed to answer questions.
They can't answer it.
They've got no answers for it. Well, it'll just go further then, won't it?
Yeah.
That's so rude. They're supposed to be answering a member of the public and they can't, so... That is so wrong. That's the police at the moment for you. Sorry?
You didn't see Piers get arrested earlier, did you?
Yeah.
Yes, we
You
do.
were here.
Yeah.
Wasn't you talking? My son showed me something. There was a lady who was having a go. Police were ignoring her.
Yeah.
Wondered if you'd
Yeah. Well, I think they're quite good at that at the moment because when you're actually asking them a question, they won't answer you.
Was there a lot of people here?
Quite a few, yeah. There was quite a lot, yeah.
The trouble is, it's shocking how sheep like me are. I just get so frustrated. It's driving me.
We feel you.
It is. It's
That's
like
what I'm
going
talking
into.
to, because I said to my wife, so I just come out on the streets and we go, it's over. Piers has been arrested. I said, I've got to speak to somebody. I've got to know there's people out there without the mask on.
Yeah, so not complying with this nonsense.
It is. They've just said to us that we had to leave the park if we didn't have proof that we lived together, right? Well, I just asked the police officer at the end of the day, at the beginning when COVID started, they said to you, if you're in a relationship with someone but you live far away or something, if you want to be together, then move in together, even if it's temporarily. So we live together temporarily. They just said to us we have to leave the park if we didn't have proof. So why would we have proof if it's temporary, you know? It's just contradictive. It's contradictive. It's what suits at the time. This is for innocent, everyday people. Do you know, they're not criminals. They're everyday people. And they're treating them like criminals.
Absolutely. We went down, it's just us, my son, we haven't got a lodger. We're up there, there's loads of people peaceably minding their own business. It's 10 to 12. And suddenly, from all these directions, headlights on. You've got to leave the park's closed, the park's closed.
Down the block, darling.
That's it's nonsense.
Yes.
I'm standing there and everyone just goes. And I'm saying, you guys, come on.
Yeah, I know.
You stand your ground. You know, you're not
This
committing
is it. We're not committing any crime, and
No.
these people here.
Do you know
just
what
think
gets me? It's like what David Curtin said earlier. At the end of the day, they're here to fight criminals, not innocent people that are just living their lives, you know.
But sometimes we can get a couple. So at the beginning of November lockdown, I was down at Trafalgar Square.
Yeah.
And it was a great couple. I said, look at me, I sound 60 years old. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be, burning tyres in the street. And I said, just do me the courtesy of listening to me as to why I'm here.
Yeah.
And to bless him, he did. He gave me 20 minutes.
The same with that police officer that I just spoke to in there. He didn't give me the decency to answer questions. He doesn't know why I'm here either.
Yeah.
He just thinks, oh, you're all in a demo and that's it.
Yeah,
But
that's right,
it's ridiculous.
It's
ridiculous.
crazy. I'm waiting for people to wake up. It's been a
it's taking forever for people to wake up, I tell you. Really is. Yeah.
And others, I've got friends, he hasn't seen his grandchildren since March.
No.
I said, why? I said, well, you're a man or a mouse. Get in the car and go and see them. With your grandchildren. You know, what is that? You know, and the world has never seen this. Never seen this, nothing like this. It's not even talking about North Korea and USSR and the rest of it. And they say, we don't have any freedom and the rest of it. So,
well, look at us, yeah.
You know, you can't even leave his front door.
I know.
It's same as the mayor of London. He's not bothered about the stabbings. He doesn't do anything to do that. His priority is, oh look, let's get
some platitudes.
Yeah.
And, you know, and the usual. Next week happens again.
What's happening now? Is there
they just keep going on to disperse people in the parks.
Just getting on to people out and stuff. And, you know, just threatening with fines or arrest.
So we've got this epidemic with young lads putting knives into each other.
Yeah, they're all here
just
with
doing
innocent
nothing.
people that are just gathering in a park.
Doing
you know,
nothing.
not doing any. Oh, it is sickening.
It's good to meet you anyway.
Good to meet you.
I'll just hover around and see.
Yeah. They are dispersing people from the park anyway.
I've achieved my goal. I've spoken to more people. So.
Oh, yes, it's good. It's always good. It's good. We're a rare breed.
Yeah, this is it. We are a rare breed.
I was scared. I said, look, you know, I've been petrified. I've shaken hands and embraced perfect strangers. I said, look, I'm not the youngest fittest guy on earth. Believe me, if I thought there was something to be afraid of, I'd stay at home.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
There is nothing out there except your fear, which is keeping you.
Well, actually, it's a good. Somebody raised this the other day, and I can't remember who. If there was a genuine pandemic, the government would actually be trying to allay fears rather than generate fears.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So. My wife's a naturopathic doctor, and she called this in March. She said that the advice is completely wrong. She said what you want to do is tell people, get outside, get to the beach, get in the sea, get plenty of sunshine. She said you've got to boost your immune system. There's a nasty virus out there. That's the single best thing you can possibly do.
They used to say about the herd effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we're not cattle.
Well, we're being treated like
We're treated like it.
so. Yeah, that's it.
You know, there's the people who are, you know, sad. People die every year. People die, sadly, we're going to die.
Yep, so inevitabilities.
Some people, I'd rather die living my life like this than hiding under a stone.
Yes,
being
cowards because of being told what to do. Because
people opposite us, that, you know, his missus came over yesterday. We've got horse-box chocolates in here. She said, my husband had it in April, and he's terrified he's going to get it again. They've found like 3 cases worldwide where they think maybe there's been a second infection. She's had it, he's had it, he doesn't want to see his grandchildren. The missus, she said, because he watches the news every day.
Yeah.
And they just...
Because the TV told him what to do.
This is it. I mean, no one's denying the COVID exists.
Yeah, of course.
It does exist, but I mean, look at China.
Yeah.
They're out celebrating. They're fine.
They're celebrating New Year in
from
Wuhan.
there, and then it's fine.
Isn't that funny?
How come they're fine, they're living their lives as normal, but we're still in a pandemic? I don't get it.
Never before have you isolated healthy people. In the past, people are sick.
Look at this.
Put them in isolation. That's what happens. Central virus is logic. Stopping people living their lives. And I keep telling people, I wrote to Boris
My guess is, coming with the warmer weather this year, we're going to see the rioting season start. When people realise that they've got nothing to lose now, because the furlough's stopped, everything's bankrupt, business has gone down the tube, then I think people are going to kick off. And then they're going to have trouble. And then they're going to have trouble like we've never seen. And it's awful to say, because I don't like, trouble.
Nobody does, but
I want to see, I'm saying to my son who's at university, because he doesn't buy any of this, and he said, I'm trying to rally people. He said, they won't. He goes to classes when they have face-to-face, they have face-to-face. I said, how many of you do that? Me. I said, but these are youngsters.
yeah, exactly. They're healthy. You know, it's only people with really underlying conditions who are really going to be susceptible to.
But they've got to look after themselves anyway. Look after them anyway. So know, it's fine now. You know.
You just got to keep yourself healthy, haven't you? That's what it boils down to.
And part of that is mental. That's part of the reason I'm here. So, you know, honestly, you know.
It was only yesterday we looked at it. There was a tweet came out on Twitter. Some lad, he's got Asperger's and autism and that, and he felt so alone. He felt worthless. And now he is taking photos of him taking tablets to end his life. Luckily, the tablets weren't enough to kill him, but the thought process was there, you know, and it's so sad. It really is sad. Yeah, they're going out the heads.
I lost my second son 5 years ago. He was a hard build, you know, into changing the world and all that marches. He lived in Scots and stuff. You know, it's funny, his brother and I, we so almost every day we said, that's such a good you know.
Yeah,
yeah. It really would, you know. But there you go. And I'm just surprised at how cowed people are. You know, we thought we were this freedom-loving nation.
Yeah, we were well known for having our freedoms. Now we have no freedom.
It's totally. Where do you folks come from in London? What side of London?
He's I can't say 1 minute.
Anyway, it's good to meet you.
Yeah, and you.
Yeah.
You be safe and take care.
Yeah, watch out for the bobbies.
Yeah.
Yes. See you later.
All right, you take care.
Bye.
Just got to keep calm.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Keep calm.
Keep calm and carry on.
Cheers. See you around. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Take care. Oh. See, everyone's had enough, innit? I am actually disgusted that they wouldn't answer questions. You know, what's going on? There's nothing. Yeah. Nothing special. Right, guys, we're gonna head off, but my feet are killing me because I can't walk now. So we'll have to move out the way for these. Just have a look. Yeah.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah, I've seen it down here. Right, guys, we're going to head off now, and we are going to be heading to, well, you'll see when we come out anyway. We'll be going live tomorrow or sometime through the night anyway. Hold on, I can't move my screen down. See the chat. It won't work.
What do you say?
Oh, I'm trying to drop the screen down. Well, thank you, Templar Guard. So I was just having a quick look at the chat, but sorry we got carried away there talking to some guy. Yeah, I'm going to get a nice hot drink down, just warm up a bit because it's absolutely freezing. Right, guys, I'm going to head off, so thanks for watching. Thanks everyone for supporting. Thanks for donations. See you soon, Marion. Thanks for watching, guys. You take care.
Bye.
Oh, bless you. It's all saying a bye.
Yeah.
It's on. I keep saying bye, and then I see another comment, but.
Yeah. The lodge.
Yes.
It's well done.
I'm reading. Right, guys. I'll take care all, and thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. Dave said, "See ya."
Bye. Take care. disposal.
Alright, see you soon guys, thank you.